In this video series, we will focusing on port scanning. As from earlier video, we already covered the device scanning part, how we listed out the connected device to a local network, how we scan our router for open ports and other detailed information, and how we get the pop-up notification when the new device connected to our network. So in this video, we will focus on port scanning, like how many ports are open when device starts, and the script will monitor every time that how many ports are open, and if any other ports are open after some time, then it will give a balloon notification to admin that there's this port is open, and if the admin wants to close that port, then it will give a pop-up box to close the port, and it will kill the process and close that port. Sometimes some of the services or some of the applications use some background services, and sometimes that background service not be able to stop after closing the application. So that background service, if open some port to the machine, then that port are still open if the application is closed. So this step will scan for the ports, and if there are zombie process or if there are open ports which are unknown, it will also notify the um, admin to close this port. So in this video series, we will start through the ports when or default ports when the machine starts. So this is the first script where we scan the default port of every machine on our network. So this way we will get the detailed view of how our router is connected to the different machine through the different ports. Because if any machine on our network is vulnerable, or an attacker can get access to the open port of any machine, they can also get access to our local network. So this script will help us to monitor through every default port, like 22, 53, 80, 445, everything. So these are the default port, like mostly 2 or 3 ports are open from all the devices on every machine, or like on every network. So how this script work? So first there is a IP list. So we have a IP list, like as we seen from our last video, we have a IP list here. So from here we can, from that IP list we will get the different IP address, and it will take different IP address, like from line. Here is our IP address will be, and this is the default port where scanning will be done on this different port, and we will use a TCP client code to use the port scanning. So what kind of thing we will use? We use the notsocket.client.connect, and here it would be, here this will pass our IP, and this is a variable which will pass 22, 53, 80, 45 on every loop. And if there is a port is open, then it will show us the port, then the port number, like 22, 53, 80, 45 is open. And if there's a port is not open, or so the TCP client, so this connection will throw an error like there is no port are open, or the um, device IP is not responding something, so we don't need to like get every that kind of error, because not every machine has all of these ports are open. So for that we are using this to go to the null. So in programming language, what to is referred to, the to is referred to the error output. So 0 would be the 0. So we see, as we sometimes we return 0 when we uh, execute anything, like so 0 would be a true condition and 1 would be a false condition. So the 2 would consider as a error condition. If the program, or if any program returns exit value 2, then it would consider as there's a error in program. So we will pass our error to the null variable, so that error would not be considered, and then for loop begins with the different IP. Okay, so let's see how this thing works. As we can see, there's a port 53 open on our gateway, so on our router. This is our machine IP. On our machine, there's a port 445 is open, and this is a different device IP. So there's no open ports on this device, so it doesn't show anything. So that's how we can gather the information of different ports on different IP. Okay. So now we will move on to how many ports are open when device start. So for that we will use nmap. So this is just the basic command where we use using p tag p argument, we will find all the open ports on our local host, like on our local machine. So here we can also pass our IP as a 172.20.10.4, but localhost would be safe and reliable name, because sometimes our IP change. So for same, or for our own machine, I suggest to use localhost. So every time you don't have to like go through your IP configuration, find your IP, and then you use this command. You can just simply use nmap localhost tag p tag, and it will shows all the open ports on our system. So let's run this script. It will shows all the open ports on our machine, like this service with all the service. So this is the unknown ports. So like these ports may be opened by some of the different services or the background services, which are unknown by the nmap software. So nmap shows it as unknown service. We can also try with the SV, so we will get the version info of the services. Let's try with the SV. So we are using two arguments, like all the ports and all the services, so maybe this time script will take some more time to run. It's good how PowerShell is flexible and reliable to use every other software and every other tools on it. Because as we know on command prompt it's hard to manage or it's hard to use Nmap, but on PowerShell it's too easy to use Nmap. We can also use other softwares on PowerShell like T-Shark. T-Shark is a terminal version of the Wireshark command. So using T-Shark we can monitor the data packets of our network. We can capture a live data packets like the recent data packets or going through our network and everything. As we can see, it's taking too long. So let's run the script in background and move on to the next one. So now we will move to this monitor and notify admin if new ports get open. So for that we will use a balloon notification and a message pop-up. So in this is the just the um, balloon message title and icon. This is the assembly we were using for the balloon, and here we are getting the all the ports list as we saw earlier, like this kind of all the list to the one file which we will use to compare after sometimes. So first on the initial scan it will get all the first on the initial scan it will give us it will get all the open ports from this command and save it to this file. Then after some time on the second scan it will get the it will again scan for the ports, and if it will save to the different file, then we will compare those two files with compare object as a file t and file t as an initial and file 1 as the second one. And if there's a difference found on any of the file, it will save to the other file as a file C. Then we will take file C and go through the different ports. Like if there's different ports are open, so there's only if there are one or two open ports, so on the file C there would be a one or two line as a difference. So we will split that line by slash, so we'll get the only port number. Here we can see the port number are like 135 slash TCP, 137 slash TCP, TCP. So this way we will split the line by every line by slash and get the first variable. So as we know the loop start from 0, so we will take the first variable, and as a 0 we will only get 135, 137, 445, and we will save all the ports number, only ports number like 135 137 to this file. Then from that file we will read every port number and we will show a balloon notification, and when the admin click on that balloon notification we will show the do you want to close this and file FSV port. So in file FSV where we get all the ports number from the file, and it will shows all the ports number here, like do you want to close this 135 137 445 ports, and if user choose yes, then it will simply respond as a if condition like sorry, port response yes, port response, and here it will take uh, port number from the file FSV file, and it will check for the netstat. So let's try this one. As I already said that this is the scripting language, so this is the privilege of the scripting language. You don't need whole code, you can just take the line and see what result you got. So let's assume like we have a port 135 open, then it will give us TCP port 135 listening. This is our process ID. TCP 135 listening on. This is our local host. This is our local host listening on 1340. So this is the same process, but this is the ingoing bound and this is the outgoing bound. It's a simple. So it will just take that one and save this output to the PID file. Then this PID file we will split all of the value with space, and we will only take the -1 argument. So -1 argument, how it will work? So the space, here we will divide everything by the space. So when we do that, this command will go for the whole first string. This is the line. So here line would be split by space. So this is the first variable, second, then third, fourth, and fifth. And we will print the last one as a -1. So only 1340. So this is our PID will be saved into the final port file. Let's just change. Okay. So in here we will again get the port value. Here we will split by the space and get the final PID. Okay, as we talked about, this is just the first, like only one. So if there are 2 or 3 different ports as this, so we will get the different values. Like try with the different port 49666. So we'll get the different kind of values. So there are a lot of values. So using here we will take all the port values. So before here we will only get this one, like 1340, 1340, 444, 1908, everything, but it get us the both outbound and inbound port PID number. So here we will split PID by the space. So this file will save as 1340, then on the next line 1340, on the next line 4, then on the next line 1908, 1908, 462, same. So here we will split by space, and then we will sort object. So sort the whole word and then get unique. So first it will sort all of them. So 4 would go upward 1340, then 1908, and at the last 4620, and it will only get the unique value. So the 1340 and 1340 is a duplicate, so it will only get the 1340. Then from this 4 it will only get 14, and from this one 1908, 1908, it will only save the only unique as a 1908, not two of them. So in final PID we will get this both of them, and then this cat content okay, so then we get the unique value of all our process ID. Then for that we will save that process ID into the G variable like into this file final PID, and from that we will read all the process ID and we will kill as this one using this command task kill, then our PID and line. So it will read a one by one line like as a 135, 137, and every other value we will get as a unique. It will read all that line and then it will kill one by one all the process, and it will save that result into the closed port detail. So like if after some time admins want to know like how many ports are closed, or admin wants to know like what things is what things was running and how many services are closed by this script, it will admin can see from this file. And if there's no port found, then it will simply print zero open ports. So maybe there's no different ports on a machine, like there's no different ports are open, so maybe it won't give us any detail, but let's try. Okay, so as the last script would take will like it take too much time, so here we can see we get this service version like Microsoft Windows RPC, VMware, Golang HTTP server, MySQL with version 8027, RPC. So here, like on here, we didn't, it shows unknown. But using the dash V, it shows us the actual service with the version. So using service argument, it will it's good, it will give us the detailed information. And here there's like a one service nmap didn't like can't figure out, so they just like it just like print all the variable like all the service how it tried to find on 33060 TCP, port number 33060 TCP. And as we can see there's a MySQL into question mark, so nmap not be able to find out which version is it, but we can still make like that. And here we also see that service info OS Windows, so we are using Windows. So it gives us the detailed information about all the ports and service versions. So now let's move on to this. Let's see if any other ports are open or not. Okay, so let's run the script. As I already said, zero open ports found, like within just in a 10 or 15 minutes, probably no new services, or I'm not using any other application, anything, so probably we can't find any ports. But for this code, for like using like getting the port number, how we will get the process ID, how we will sort them, how we will unique them, how we will kill using the task ID, I made another small script. This is the same code. We can see from here the content file lsv, and here I just use it without instead of file lsv I just here get the path. Okay, so here we can see how this whole code is working, like how it will go for the how it will get the process ID from the port number, then how we will divide, how we will like only get the process ID from the whole output, and using the process ID how we will get that task, or how we will stop close that port. So first so this new document.txt, suppose it would be like it is our list of port numbers. So here we have these two port number open, like 44966 and 49667. As you can see from the last port scanning result, there is a 49666 and 49667. Two ports are open here. So we will just paste only two ports number in that. So from the first line it will read the port number, from second line it will get the process ID, and it will add that to the new file PID. So from here there is no PID file, so we can see CYB script v2, CYB script v2. So there's no PID file here, there's no final port file, and there's no final PID file here. Okay, so here it will save the output from next step to the PID file, then it will save, it will split that PID to the and get the last as a PID, only PID value, and save it to the final port. Then it will again get the final port value and split it by the space and sort and get only unique process ID to the final PID text. And after that we will read every process ID number and we will kill with the task PID. Okay, so let's run this command. Oh, so the reason for the error is that this process can only be terminated forcefully with F option. So we can see with PID 1980. Let's just go to our files and see how it will, it's is it actually like sort, like get the PI process ID and sort all of them. Okay, so here we can see we have final PID, final port and everything. So first from this it's stored into the netstat, output would be into the PID file. Okay, so here is our netstat output with the duplicates value. Okay, now then it will only take the PID value. So this is our PID value, last one. So this is only the this file value would be saved to the final port. Here same, and then it will just take the short and take the unit into the final PID. So here we have the sorted ID and the unique IDs. And using that we are killing the processes. So okay, let's just add okay using F option. Okay, again let's just delete all of them. Okay, so now we don't have PID, final port or final PID. Okay, now save the script and again run with the F command. And I suggest, like, if you don't know which processes are you stopped or which ports you are stopping using a task kill ID without a zero knowledge, don't try to close any port or any kill any process with forceful using F function, because it shows us like this process can only be terminated by forcefully. So you, from this error we can say that these services are running these services are running purposely, like these services are important for the Windows or anything, but for the for this test I am just killing this process, and after that I will again start the services manually. So okay, let's begin to the okay. So we can see success. The PID has been terminated, terminated, and terminated. So let's see. As we can see, like as a zero process, like there's no open port, so we didn't get any pop-up notification, everything. But from this code, we can say that we can say, and the pop-up and everything is the same as of the last video. So there's nothing new. Just the logic is new. As for the script, is same as here. So using this way, we can simply just close the unnecessary port and unnecessary process. Let's see, is our processes are stopped or not. This time we will just simply run through the PowerShell. So it shows these three are stopped. So process, port number, so port number 49666 and 49667 should be stopped by now. Okay, so we can see from here there's a no port 49666 or 49667 is open. So we can say that this script is help us to close different ports or unnecessary ports, which is harmful to the machine or organizations where device security is the most preference. So in this video we see how we can, using this script, how we can scan ports on our local machine, how we can scan ports of our router, how we can scan port of the different machine on our network, and how we can kill or close the open ports or the unnecessary ports using the task kill command. So on next video we will finalize our script. Like we will make one script and the whole data from the last device scanning video and this video from the process scanning, where we see a different three functions like the default port, local port, and new port. We will make a one script of all this code as a main function, like as a main function structure, and we will run that script and everything would be go one by one. And after that we will see in next video like how we will auto run any script in Windows machine, like how we can set that service as a background service, so we do not need to run this script every time we start our machine. So I hope you understand how port scanning work, how we can use Nmap for port scanning on our machine or on the local network or on a different machine on our network, and how we can kill the ports on our machine, and how we can get the process ID from the netstat using a netstat command. Thank you.